Would you continue the program that's happened through Texas, Arizona, and Governor DeSantis in Florida of sending migrants to places like
no, close the border
in the north?
Don't do that. Close them.
Would you support and continue that program?
Listen, I've said this before. I'm not making news here. I'm not in support of continuing to traffic people.
Fact.
You know, it was a great photo op. I got a kick out of watching Martha's Vineyard lose their mind over 50 people illegally here showing up. I'm enjoying watching the terrible mayor of New York City melt down because busloads of people here illegally have shown up. But that doesn't solve the problem. I'd rather see people bust and sent back across the border. We cannot accept the world's poor. We've got 5 million people coming in so far with Joe Biden. I think that's a low number, by the way. I think that's a low number. We just got some new numbers Friday, and they're shocking. And 1 million of the 5 million people who've come in are what they call gotaways. And a brief definition, those are people who are coming in and don't want to be processed. The majority of people coming across want to file fraudulent asylum claims.
Fact.
They are coming here, they want to be processed by the federal government and the Border Patrol because they want to stay forever. And with Joe Biden, he's going to probably try to let them stay forever. But 1 million have come in, maybe more, who didn't want to be caught, because their background, their record, their criminal record is so heinous, they don't want to be caught. We can't allow people like that to come into our country, and we're not going to allow that.
And I've said, now, if I'm running for governor, right, Governor Eric is going to put some guys on the border with the tools, you know what I'm saying, and they're going to point said tool in a certain direction and tell them to swim back across the river and go home. That's how you solve the problem, which could totally be done. I don't know why they wouldn't do it. I mean, maybe I think this guy Blake Masters is kind of running on that. And look, I'm not an expert. I don't know what the governor pulls off and what the senators pull off and exactly what they do. It seems to me like they probably just spend most of their time campaigning for more money for the next election cycle. And I've always asked, when these people get up in the morning and they, drink their first cup of coffee, what do they do? Because I assume they're not running their own social media. They're not answering their own phone. They're not sending their own emails. They have aides and staffers for all that. So I'm genuinely curious as to what happens a day in the life of somebody who's actually in a political office. Really, any of them. Congress, Senate, all these people, like, what do they actually do? They're just milking taxpayer dollars and buying Teslas and shopping at Whole Foods or whatever, as far as I'm concerned, and coming up with weird new rules to make you get a shot or make you wear a mask or make sure that you can cut the junk off your kid. And I'm sorry if I'm harping on that, but it's absolutely disgusting that they think they have fooled people into believing that a little boy can be a little girl because he picked up a Barbie doll at a Target or whatever. Or there's this story recently of this girl basically getting her face smashed in by a transformer volleyball player who spiked the ball directly at her, which maybe, I'm sure it could happen. Another woman could do that, but we haven't really heard of that, right? I think we probably would have heard of that maybe, in the past decade or two. But we haven't until now. Same thing with the swimming and the cycling and all this stuff. It's absolute nonsense. And of course, it goes without saying, but I'll say it anyways, because I'm here to beat these hypocrisies into a paste. You would never see a woman transition into a man and start competing on the PGA Tour or trying out for the NBA or the NFL or anything. It just wouldn't work. But for some reason, it works the other way around, and we're all just supposed to buy it.
That's why